All right, if I could have everybody grab their seat. If you would also please rise, and we will begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. For those of you who are new to our breakfast meetings, we have a tradition whereby we put extra special emphasis on the final two words of our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. So let me again welcome all of you to our breakfast meeting. If we may take a moment of silence, please. I would like for you to remember those who have recently passed. Also take some time, if you're the praying type, to pray for peace in the world, safety for our children, and also maybe take a little moment of gratitude for the many blessings we do have in our lives. So please, let's have a brief moment of silence. All right, thank you. Well, before we actually get to anything else in official welcomes, I'll share with you something personal. I'm actually in a very good mood today. Anybody want to know why? Because immediately after the breakfast meeting today, I'm hopping in my car and heading to Florida. I am wearing my Say Gay shirt everywhere I go in Florida. I've got rainbow pins, I've got hats, I got everything. So don't you worry, I'm bringing the good word down to good old Florida. I don't say his name either way.
I just want to call him Duh Santos.
It's funny, they actually have him recorded saying it both ways. It's like, my name is Bill Kimmler. Then next week, my name is Bill Kimmler. It's like, I don't know how to say my own name. Really haven't had a chance to figure that out. Well, anyhow, welcome. We have a great free food buffet over there. Make sure you grab yourself some hot coffee, juice, donuts, or what have you. There's also a literature table in the back, restrooms over to the right. Feel free to wander around and get whatever you need whenever you need it. I just like to welcome all of you. If I may, just with a quick show of hands, for whom among you is this your first time joining a Democratic breakfast meeting here in Greenwood? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 new ones. Welcome. That's fantastic. And you know what? This is June in a non-election year, and just look at the crowd we have around us. This tells us that we do have a great democratic spirit here. We have a passion to make the world a better place. I'll tell you, the only way we're going to do it is not through rallies, is not through letter writing, is not through talking to our representatives and sending them messages, because honestly, the Republican, except for a very few of them, they don't listen. You're not going to change minds. Truly, the only way we're going to enable change is through electing good people. And that's what we work towards every day, and that's our number one focus. All that other stuff is very important to get the word out, but at the end of the day, unless we have a representative in office with a little D next to their name, it's not going to make much of a difference. So that's what we work towards. I would also like to welcome those of you who are veterans in our armed services or are actively serving. Thank you very much. If you are a first responder, police, fire, ambulance, I welcome you as well. Thank you for your community service. For those who are in the medical field, whether you're nurses or doctors or you work in another capacity, thank you for keeping us healthy and well. Finally, to the lawyers out there. Do we have lawyers? If you're a good lawyer and work for free, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you as well. So here's our agenda today. If you have not picked up a copy of the agenda at the front table, please do grab it. There's a lot of important information in there, and make sure you also get a little answer sheet because at the end we're going to have trivia. So our agenda, I'm going to give some brief comments, some updates as to what's been happening in the party. It's been a very busy month. Then we're going to hear from Dr. Jamel Brooks, who was our first vice chair. The last time you heard from her was her opening speech during our convention back in March. And she has transformed since then. So you're going to hear from her and all of her adventures. Then we welcome Chelsea McNeil, who is a VIP here in Greenwood. If you haven't heard of her before, you're going to wonder why you hadn't, because she is a big deal, and we are very lucky to have her. Then I'm going to give a couple of legislative updates, because the lawmakers in Columbia have been very busy ruining our lives. So we want to talk about that. Then we should have plenty of time left over to do trivia round 3. Now, if you did the trivia at the fish fry, you can't partake. It's the same questions. Now, only a few of you partook, so it should be fresh for the large majority. So again, I see 2 of you. In fact, one of the winners of that trivia from the fish fry is here, so you have to keep quiet, sir. Don't give out any answers. Then we may have time for open forum and then closing remarks, and then we are done. So let me start off talking about the brochures and other materials. If you've been to the breakfast area, you should see a new poster there. Have you seen that poster with Governor McMaster? Did you read that quote? Democrats so rare we have to hunt them with dogs. Now, this is one of those comments that generated a lot of outrage when it happened. And what I want to make sure is that this does not just get lost in our typical outrage cycle where we're angry for a week or two and then we've moved on to something else. A statement like that needs to be pinned to the governor's chest and needs to be known everywhere he goes. So that poster is going to be following us at any event McMaster does in the area. We'll have that poster so that people can read and see what he said. The very fact that none of his Republican legislators have called him out on it, the fact that he got a huge laugh at the convention when he said it, is very discouraging and upsetting to me personally, and I can't imagine what it means to many of you. One of the handouts that we have back there are printouts of 2 letters printed in the Index Journal over a week ago that addressed this issue, and they were brilliantly written. One of the authors, Philip Dennis, is here with us today. His was probably one of the most passionate pieces of writing on this subject that I've seen. And another was authored by various members who were part of the Racial Justice League. So please grab a copy of that, take with you, and share it among your neighbors. It's funny because I did a survey. Actually, let me do that survey here. How many of you were not aware the governor said that statement 3 weeks ago? Raise your hand if you had not heard that before. All right, there's a few of you that still hadn't reached out to you. Grab a copy of those letters and pass them around your community. We need to make the people aware. Now, we can't vote the governor out. He's not going to step down. There's not going to be an investigation, but he should be shamed for it because he has not come out and apologized. In fact, he had his spokesperson just come out and say, well, if Democrats can't take a joke, take a joke. You know, there's just some things that aren't funny under any context. And this isn't a cancel culture or a woke thing. It's just not funny about hunting people with dogs. Where is the humor in that? So I wanted to call that out to your attention, plus other pieces of great material that we have at our literature table. So please make sure you stop by. All right, some updates regarding our party. All right, first of all, I'm going to talk financials. We are blessed to be doing very well. There's no other county in our immediate region that comes close to that, and building up that war chest allows us to spend it on things like posters like that, but more importantly, voter outreach. That's the number one thing that we're going to spend that money on, is making sure the voters are aware of what's happening, who's running for office, and get them out to vote. So we are going to be in a great position come next year with your generosity. And I especially want to call out those who have become monthly sponsors. So a lot of that money has come from those who are donating on a monthly basis at least $5. That's the bare ask. So if you scan the little QR code on the back of your agenda, that will take you to a form where you can sign up and be a monthly contributor of $5 or more, and that, we promise you, goes a long way. We're very frugal with how we spend it. We spend it wisely, and we spend it effectively. And again, we're just blessed. This is the highest amount we've ever had as a party on a non-election year. It's just great, and we're going to be able to help our candidates as we head into 2024. 2 weeks ago, we had a service project. We helped the Boys and Girls Club of the Lakelands. Boys and Girls Club have been a great partner to us. They allowed us the use of their facilities for our fish fry. Many of our members have been closely aligned with them. Floyd Nicholson, Senator Nicholson, was part of their board. So the Boys and Girls Club and our mission overlap considerably. As a way to give back, we showed up on Saturday and actually Friday at Grace Street Park. The Boys and Girls Club held their annual fundraiser. It's the Bob Koch Memorial Walk. Bob was an activist and he was a philanthropist who raised money. In fact, he was in the middle of kayaking down a river, raising money for the Boys and Girls Club when he had a medical issue and sadly passed away during that trip. So since then, the Boys and Girls Club have held an annual hike at Grace Street Park in his honor. They bring his entire family out there, plus other volunteers and other members. There's shirts and food, memorials. They raise funds for the hike. We were out there, myself, Rusty, and Jill. We marked the trails. All right, we put little colored tags on the trees across miles of trails to mark them. And then Saturday, Lane and I showed up to help. And then we took the markers down. So thank you to those who came out and helped out, really helped show that Democrats care. And when it comes to the Boys and Girls Club, we certainly do care. So let's talk about the biggest thing that's happened in the past month, the fish fry. Raise your hand if you were at the fish fry. Awesome. Raise your hand if you still haven't recovered from working the fish fry. It was a long day, but it was a beautiful day. We had several hundred turn out, great food, great music, great weather, thank God. The very next week it was a downpour that Saturday, and I could only imagine what it would have been like had that been us. But it was beautiful, a great success. So many of you volunteered materials, gifts, food, your time and volunteering, setting up. It could not have happened without all of you. I'm happy to announce that we raised over $3,000 at that fish fry, believe it or not. It was one of our largest fundraising results that we've ever had. And quite frankly, it was due to the generosity of many of you who have either contributed financially or contributed food to help cover those costs. Because of that, we were able to rake in the ticket sales and other things, and it was just wildly successful. So I thank you very much for that. For those that were not able to attend, I've got a 6-minute video that I would like to show you of what the fish fry was like. You ready for it? All right, dim the lights, please. No, I'm just kidding. We don't do that. All right, let me get this video set up, and we'll sit back and watch. Welcome to the 2023 Floyd's Fish Fry, our third annual event in his honor. I would like to thank Senator Nicholson himself for lending us the use of his name because it adds credibility to what we as Democrats here in Greenwood wish to do. Without further ado, let me introduce the man of the afternoon himself, Senator Floyd Nicholson.
Thank you, Bill. First, I would just like to say good afternoon to everyone. And first, I just want to thank everyone for coming out on this beautiful Saturday morning afternoon to support the Democratic Party in our annual fish fry. First, I want to say that I'm glad the fish were really biting good. I went out several days fishing. I caught a lot of fish. They were really biting real good. And I noticed they were real good fish, too. Some of them didn't look so good, so I threw them back. So I kept all of the good ones. Bill, Democratic Party, we're the party for the people. I know things might not be going well now, but you know, things change. All we got to do is persevere, keep the faith, keep doing the right things, and we're going to see a change. We're going to see that change from red to blue. Greenwood, the state, is going to become a blue state. But it's going to take patience. It's going to take us continue to work and not give up. Keep battling the good fight for the people. And the people are going to begin to realize that we're the one for the people that are doing the right thing. And it's by your support, our working together, that's going to move our community, our county, our city, our state, and our nation forward. Thank you and have a great day.
I would ask the senator not to go too far. You know, one thing that Senator Nicholson is, he's a leader. He shows us the way in everything he does. He's not just words. If there's anybody who does it by action, it is Floyd Nicholson. He and his wife, Mamie, set up a scholarship for Lander University. The Floyd and Mamie Nicholson Scholarship goes to a student who is the first in their family to go to college. And that hits me personally because that fits me as well. I was the first in my family, and we thank Floyd and Mamie for that generosity, and we would like to match it this year. You know, we know inflation hit everybody. So we are going to up our game, and the Democratic Party is offering $500 to the Floyd and Mamie Nicholson Scholarship Fund. How do you like that 1980s TV sitcom ending, huh? I thought that was some pretty cool special effects. Well, it was a very special afternoon and morning, and I was absolutely wiped out. I can't imagine how some of you were. George Swindell actually had a college graduation that he had attended just the day before, and without catching a break, he drove back down to help move all the equipment there, worked all day that Saturday, so if there's a hero of the fish fry, it's Mr. Swindell, believe it or not. I could go on forever. I also want to thank Gwen Wiggleton and John Blocker. They were two of our top sellers of tickets, believe it or not. They worked their tails off and sold a bunch of tickets. So we thank them. I thank John especially for having such a big family, because he made all his family eat and buy tickets. So that was really nice. So we look forward to it. Now we can't pause. I'm actually happy to announce that we got to start planning for our next big event, the Carnell Drummond Maze Banquet that we're going to hold in October. We've got a date in mind. We need to secure it. But we actually have two co-chairs who have volunteered to run that show. Would they stand up, please, and identify themselves? We've got Lane Horowitz and Tawanda Spearman. They are our co-chairs for the 2023 Carnell Drummond Maze Banquet. So they're going to put out a call for help, and I hope we heed that call. Now, the banquet's indoors, so it's a lot more relaxing. There's no stress about weather and rain and any of that stuff. We don't even have to cook the food. We just got to find a caterer and let them do all the work. So all we got to do is show up to help them out, and we're going to have a very successful banquet. All right, lastly, our June outreach, and I've also put this advertisement in our brochure, is with the Juneteenth Festival, the Freedom Day Parade and Festival. I would like to recognize Mr. Ahmad Hart. Would you please stand, sir, out in the back? He's spearheading this event with the Greenwood Garveyites and has done so for the past few years. And he has been very gracious to allow the Greenwood Democratic Party to have a spot there in Uptown Greenwood in the big parking lot area near the fountain. We're going to be able to set up a tent. We're going to be able to do voter registration and voter engagement. And we're looking for some help on that Saturday. So it's 2 Saturdays from now, from 10 to 6. If you have 2 hours to spare that you can come, sit at our table, talk to the passerbys as they come through, make them aware of the Democratic Party, make them aware of the issues that affect them, and try to spur some passion to get involved in community affairs. This would be a great opportunity to do it. They have a wonderful parade with the Phoenix Academy of the Arts and some other groups, and a lot of traffic with vendors and food and music. It's a fun event. I'll share this. I think the first time we did it, Miss Wiggleton was sitting with me, Miss Gwen. And she and I were sitting there, and it got to be mid-afternoon, and out of nowhere, these dark clouds rolled in. You remember this, Gwen? These dark clouds rolled in, huge wind gusts. One of those gusts lifted our tent up in the air. Now, we're in the parking lot, so there's no way to nail down and secure the tent, so it went up in the air. If it wasn't for Gwen reaching out one arm, grabbed the tent pole, she literally held the tent together. She held the fort, literally. Prevented us from losing our tent. I did not know she had such strength in her. It was incredible. I would have expected, if it was me, I would have just flown up in the air with the tent. But Gwen held on to it and kept it safe and secure. So if you're able to volunteer, drop me a note, fill out a volunteer form at the check-in table, give me a holler, let us know. I could certainly use the company. I'll be there the whole time, but you know what? I'd like to use the restroom once in a while. I'd like to grab a bite to eat. Plus, it's good for them to see other faces. This is not a mug that attracts people to a tent. You all would attract people to a tent. So come on down, join us for a great afternoon, and help it out. And thank you again to Ahmad for putting this on every year. It's a lot of work. And the man, Mr. Hart, has 5 jobs already. I don't know if you know this. He's got a full-time job at Cardinal Health. You're still there, right? He also is the owner and proprietor of Nikki's Chicken and Waffles. Or is it Waffle and Chicken? Waffle and Chicken? Chicken and Waffles. You have chickens and waffles. All right? So right there in Montague, that's his other job. So how he does it all, plus put on organizational events like this, is incredible. I wish I had half his energy. All right, before we turn it over to our speakers, one final piece of business is our Volunteer of the Month. We haven't done one in a while, just we've gotten so busy with a lot of things, but I did want to take some time to recognize an individual who's done a couple of things these past few months that really opened some eyes, made an impression on some of us old regulars within the party. This is a relative newcomer. In fact, somebody who doesn't normally do this sort of thing, and I want to say it's a he actually gets voluntold to do stuff with us. And I would like to take a moment to thank Griffin Hopkins, who is our Volunteer of the Month. He was our Easter Bunny at the annual Easter event. He also helped out setting up the fish fry. And so, Griffin, I know you're not Mr. Politics, but I just want to say thank you for what you did. Please stand. Come on up. Now, you got to come on up because I got something for you.
I just pulled it anybody ever.
So, first, Griffin, there's this award of recognition. This award is presented to Griffin Hopkins in appreciation of your volunteerism and generosity in support of the efforts of the Greenwood County Democratic Party, given this day, 3rd of June, 2023, signed by myself. So thank you, man. We got to look at the camera now. And as another token of appreciation, he gets a shirt. The shirt says, "I think, therefore, I'm not a Republican." Now, part of getting this award is that you have to wear this every day now, from now until the election. All right. Thank you, Griffin. One more time.